Good day everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're setting up January in my 2025 bullet journal. Let's just hop right in. I went with a ancient Greece Medusa theme because it is the year of the snake this year, and I wanted to incorporate that in my January theme. So what better way than Medusa, honestly. I've always been fascinated with Greek mythology anyway, so what better way than to incorporate that this year? And I'm actually going to show you guys, this is a sticker sheet that I've made. I definitely have a lot to learn when it comes to making sticker sheets. There are a couple of things that I still have to, figure out. Some of the things I put on there are way too small when the Cricut cuts them out, so they're not even usable. So I'm going to have to figure out, how to lay out my sticker sheets a little bit better. I always want to cram so much into them, but I have to kind of dial it down, I've realized. So we're going to go in with some craft paper that is actually a paper bag, and then this green paper came from junk mail from H&R Block, but it was a really pretty green envelope, and it matched the colors of my theme pretty perfectly, so I'm putting it in my bullet journal. But I mean, that just goes to show you that you can use anything. Trash can become treasure. The paper bags that I'm using are from Staples when I go and get stuff printed. So, you don't always have to use the special stickers or the washi tapes if you can't afford that right now. Like, I couldn't afford it when I first started. And I still can't afford it most times, so that's why I'm starting to make my own. But anyway, back to the cover page. I'm using the main sticker that I created for this theme, and basically I created all the stickers around this one artwork. But I also decided that I'm going to go pretty simple and minimal with my cover page, which is, a little crazy for me because my cover pages past couple of times have been pretty detail oriented or full page works of art. So I don't know, it was fun to try and do something minimal and something simple. Of course, I still had to include some type of artwork because I don't think it would be my bullet journal if I didn't. So, i.e. stickers. But anyway, we're going to go in with some of these curtain details that I've done, and I am trying to keep it as dainty as possible. And then I wanted to show you that I did this January title, but it is a full snake, but it's hard to see because it's so small. That was like one of the things I was talking about earlier, when some stuff printed a little too small and is barely usable. I know what it looks like, but if you didn't know it was a snake making up the word January, you probably couldn't tell. But we're going to go in, we're going to finish off the cover page with a few more little stickers and then this tiny little calendar, and then we'll move on to the next spread. So I'll see you when we get there. Alright, we're going to move on to the calendar spread next, and I am doing my calendar pretty much the exact same way I did my December calendar. It worked really well for me having the full page being the calendar. I can write as much as I need to in it and not feel like it's claustrophobic or way too filled up. So I think I'm really going to stick with this layout of calendar. And I think I can do a lot with it sticker wise and decoration wise, but I don't know, I may change my mind further into the year and switch up my calendar spread, but as of right now I think this is what's going to work best for me. Alright, I don't really have much else to say for this spread, so I'm gonna let the music roll and then I'll see you when we go to the next one. Alright, now we're going to move on to my habit trackers. I did make my own little calendars for this as well, and just to preference, I am starting my January setup in the second week of January, so I will not be tracking the first week, and that's okay. I'm just going to cross out with a line in the first week on my calendars and move on. We're not perfect. Things happen and life gets in the way and we're unable to start when we want to start. The fact of the matter is, I'm doing it now and it's getting done. I think also there is this big misconception about starting a bullet journal. You have to start at the first of the year, which just really isn't true. You can start a journal whenever you want to start a journal. The journal is for you, it's not for anybody else. Of course, if you want to put it online, that's okay too. It's your journal, do what makes you happy with it. Okay, now that that rant's over, I'm going to show you that I also made alphabet stickers, which these actually came out pretty good, and I'm happy with these. So I'm going to use these to spell out the word habits, and then we're going to put the calendars in on the other side, and this is just a pretty simple spread. I have the collage on the left side and then the calendars for tracking on the right side. I'm again not doing a mood tracker because for December I tried to do it again, and like I figured, it just didn't work out. I did not fill it in, even though I was really excited to because it was going to be full of constellations. It just didn't get done. So I'm not going to do that to myself for January when I'm already behind, and just focus on tracking the habits that I want to focus on and be done. So I will see you when this setup is done for the next one. Alright, now it's time for my weekly, and like I mentioned earlier, since I'm starting my January spreads in the second week of January, I am starting my weeklies in the third week. I'm not going to go and backdate my weeklies because there's no point. I have no use for that, so we're going to go ahead and set up a weekly for next week, and that's where my bullet journal will start. I'm trying something different with my weekly this time. I'm going to set it up kind of like a hobonichi, but I don't know if I'm gonna stick to this spread or not. I wanted to kind of lay out my whole day in a time scheduled kind of thing, but I'm not sure if that's going to work for me or not. We'll see how it ends up once I get to actually do it this next week. But I'm gonna go in and kind of decorate in between and giving it a little bit of separation here and there, but I will be also putting in some sections with some lines to kind of also break it up that way, because I want my main tasks to be up top and then my schedule will start in the second section, if that makes sense. Hopefully it'll make sense once you actually see it being done. And of course, I was laying out stickers before I put in the grids that I was putting in for my tasks and then the scheduled part of the weekly. So I will be moving some stickers around and taking stickers out that did not separate from the page very nicely. But like before, I'm gonna let the video roll with some music, and when it's time for the flip through, I will be back. Alright guys, it's flip through time, so you know what that means. If you made it this far, I seriously appreciate it, and I guess put a snake emoji in your comment if you made it all the way to the end of the video. And as always, thank you so much for watching. If you aren't already, please consider subscribing. It would really help me out. I believe I've crested over the 100 subscriber mark now. Thank you to those who watched my 2025 setup and doing that for me. And yeah, if you could also give the video a like, I would really appreciate it. But that's it for my January setup, and I will see you for February.